I've run into a whole bunch of different things that would make people's heart stops multiple times over, and we're able to push through because of grit, determination, and skill set and relationships.
How different is this mindset from like a typical online marketing or digital marketing mindset where everyone's like wants to be a one person show, where the general idea that, oh, you can make a lot of money just hiding behind your computer screen, and then the deeper you go into the game, you realize, wow, it's actually the people who make it big long term and are the ones who end up building relationships in the industry, just like in any other industry. I find it to be very interesting. Like, you can probably hit six figures or multiple six figures with very few relationships.
Yeah.
But then you want to take things to multiple millions, and especially tens of millions. A lot of it will ride on the relationships you will build. That will lead to you building a team, your affiliates, experts that you're able to attract, right? All sorts of, like, the network you build for resources and Rolodexes and problem solving. Because the more you grow, the bigger, like, the more challenging the problems you're going to be facing. Like, if you've grown to, say, 2 million a year, and then all of a sudden your merchant account got shut down, like, you really need like an insider to tell you, okay, well, you have to go get this guy who has the thing, to get you approved for a new merchant account very quickly. This is where you go to form a new LLC. This is where you go to, get banking statements, and this is how you do it. And this is what you say when you fill out the application form. Like, a lot of this stuff is not common knowledge, and it's not something you'll find in a $27 Udemy course, right?
That comes straight from relationship. And I remember, so the first time that ever happened to us in this business, I didn't freak out because it's happened to me working with clients throughout the years. And so Real Advisors, which is my main education company, our first year we went from 0 to 1 million, and then our merchant account shut us down right at the $1.2 million cash collected mark. And it's a stressful period to be in, and you should know better, right? So I should know better. You should have multiple merchant accounts. That's actually happened to us a bunch since then. And it doesn't sweat me at all, because I knew exactly who to go to. I knew what kind of conversations to have, and that's only from experience. And so I'm lucky in the fact that I've been able to work with some really large companies, and some large companies that took major hits. I've gone through 3-letter agencies, and I've been on the adjacent side of those things, looking in and seeing what happens. And that's why I'm always, you got to refund people if they ask, and in a certain way, right? You got to make sure that you're dealing with people the right way to not have any blowback on certain things. You have to worry about compliance. You have to worry about what people say on the phones. You have to worry about what's in your webinar presentations, especially if you hit a certain number. At $10 million a year, you're getting a lot of eyeballs on you. So you have to start looking at those things, and that does come from experience. Because I don't want to go through that experience again. And you can absolutely do extremely well as a one-person organization, whether you're a freelancer, a business owner, copywriter, or media buyer. You can do well without building a lot of relationships. You go faster with relationships. I'm also not afraid to pay for relationships. I will find masterminds and continually seek out masterminds. I'm usually in 2 or 3 every single year of masterminds that I pay a very high amount to. And I've done this for at least a decade, where every year I'm in a group or I'm in multiple years, and I'm building really deep relationships, because those accelerate that. And that's where you find the people who, hey, you have a merchant problem. This is the guy to go to. Hey, you have a problem with traffic. Well, have you talked to this guy? Hey, your copy's not working well. Can this guy take a look at it because he's in my mastermind? And even after the mastermind ends or you move on, you still have amazing relationships. One of the first masterminds I started of my own back in 2008, I remember it was right after Rich Schefren's first seminar, Strategic Profit Seminar. It was actually, by the way, it was Gary Vaynerchuk's first speaking engagement ever. And I met this group we were kids, all in the middle, all kids at the time. And these guys are great marketers today. This is, a good 10, 12 years later, whatever it may be. Over that time, you grew up together. And that was the first mastermind I joined myself. It wasn't a paid mastermind, but we met on a regular basis. Then I joined a mastermind after that, joined a mastermind after that, and you accelerate your relationships. So that's a huge thing. So yeah, I've fortunately never took the path of being all in on my own. Now, before we started our company, I was living the internet marketing lifestyle. I remember one of the first sales letters I ever read was the Agora sales letter, and it had, make more money, get paid a doctor's salary while writing on the beach. So I became a freelance copywriter. I bought a condo on the beach, and I wrote copy and just did that for a number of years until I had kids, and made a very, very solid 6-figure income, working a couple hours a day, writing copy on the beach. It was actually a second home that I used as an office right on the ocean. And so yeah, you can do very well without scaling. Then when you scale, especially when you scale as a product owner, and you're dealing with lots of volume, it helps to have a lot of people. Because if I couldn't run the business that we have now on my own or without my team, and also you give yourself more freedom because you're able to escape from the things that you grow out of, right? So I didn't want to be a copywriter for the rest of my life. I didn't want to be a media buyer for the rest of my life. I wanted to do some other things. And so now my focus more is building something where I can create more freedom for myself every day. And those are the things you learn. But I've had a lot of great mentors. I've paid the way. I've opened myself up for relationships that way. There's one mastermind that I can look back at certain relationships and just one mastermind. So one of our brands is a real estate investing brand. And we actually my partner, I was able to have him help get a show on A&E. So he has a reality TV show on A&E Network, Zombie House Flipping Tampa. And that came as a direct result of a mastermind I was in several years ago, where somebody remembered me as the real estate marketing guy, and called me. His cousin was a casting director for the show. And I said, well, I'm not the real estate guy you want to talk to. You need to see my business partner. And now, because of that string of relationships from a mastermind I was a member of 4 years ago, that came about it. From that same mastermind, we were able to create massive income from direct relationships, not from what I learned in the meeting, but from relationships that continually spark from it. So you never know where those things come from. Again, it's going back to that saying of abundance and just being open and giving and creating other relationships along the way. But yeah, none of it was on my own. I couldn't have done any of that stuff on my own.
Is there anything comforting about the idea that if worst comes to worst, you can always go back to writing copy on the beach?
That is so when I've told you my story, Igor, offline here, but I'll tell a little bit of my story here. I've been this for a while, but in 2020, when COVID hit, we had a massive seminar company. We just hit $1 million a month in revenue, and we were doing phenomenal. The month before, March 2020, before COVID hit, my Facebook ads account got shut down, and that was our main source of traffic. So now we're in panic mode, but recovering because we're marketers. That's what we do. And then COVID hit and just shut down all live events. And our main source of income was selling high ticket live events, 200 people in a room, $5,000 to $8,000 a ticket, right? And we had live events lined up for the rest of the year. So instantly that disappeared. In that moment, now I've had lots of other business challenges. We brought on a COO who stole from us day one, and that caused a bunch of issues. We've had, there's lots of issues just in business that you would expect in business that most people don't talk about. There's lots of things that happen. So you build up this thick skin really, really fast. But that moment when everything shut down, the comforting piece was I have a set of skill sets that I've developed: writing copy, buying media, understanding offers, understanding human psychology, high ticket selling. I've developed all of these skill sets over the last 20 years because of the masterminds I attend, the training programs I do, the things I invest in, testing stuff as an affiliate. Actually, this is a side note. I love marketing as an affiliate because it makes me a better marketer as a publisher, because I understand all sides of traffic and copy and allows me to test things. I even do that to the day, right? Even with your product, right? I love your product as being an affiliate, right? You learn these things to become stronger as you do everything else. So yeah, I have a whole set of skill sets that if anything falls out of anywhere, and I've had to go back to them sometimes, I can just rely on. I can make money on demand whenever I want to. And I have a set of relationships that if I really needed to, I can make a phone call and not be worried about anything. So yeah, in terms of comforting, I'm never worried about something going wrong, because like the worst possible things in business have happened over the several years of being a publisher. I've run into a whole bunch of different things that would make people's heart stops multiple times over, and we're able to push through because of grit, determination, and skill set and relationships.
So what's next for you? Like, if we had to wrap up, what would you say? What's your vision for your company for the next 12 months?
So the next 12 months are interesting right now. So we're doing a lot in terms of publishing brands, and actually we have our first live event coming back up that we haven't done in our space since 2020. So we've been doing tons of virtual events. We're going back live. We have a lot with our education brand in the real estate investing space. Our agency has been growing. Our sales floor has been growing. So it's not just one thing; it's a lot of things, and that's sometimes it's overwhelming, but that's part of business. And so yeah, that's a big piece of what's happening over the next 12 months for us. Is if you're in the real estate investing space, look out for our offers. We are coming out with some stuff talking about AI heavily in our internet marketing brands and everything that we're doing on the forefront. And I've been very quiet in the online marketing space, and we've been doing more to change that as well. So yeah, look out for me in that time period.
All right. Look out, the internet marketing
That's
space.
right.
He's coming. All right. Well, thank you, Francis. It's been a pleasure hosting you.
Igor, appreciate you.
Great war stories. Love them. Absolutely love them. And congratulations on your success. And hopefully a year from today, you'll be coming back, and we'll chat about how you fulfilled all this vision.
There you go. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for your time today. Really enjoyed it.